Hi there, audit fans, and welcome to This Week in Audit, where I round up the most interesting audit news pieces from around the world. It was New Conceptual Framework release day last week. There was a major scandal in the world of cricket, and a new research paper reports on how audits may reduce bribery and corruption. So get yourself a drink, a snack, maybe some leftover Easter chocolate, and let's get into it. On Thursday the 29th of March, the International Accounting Standards Board released the latest version of its conceptual framework for financial reporting. This has a lot of accountants, auditors, and standard setters excited. It's been 8 years since our last update. So what exactly is a conceptual framework? The IASB's framework is a set of principles to guide accountants in making decisions related to accounting and financial reporting. It sets out the fundamental principles that the international financial reporting standards are based on. This ensures consistency across standards and comparability of financial information prepared under IFRS. Now, the purpose of a conceptual framework is to guide accountants where there may not be a specific IFRS for a particular situation. If you follow and apply the conceptual framework, then theoretically, the accounting treatment will be consistent with IFRS. Now, I know I have a number of viewers in the United States where IFRS is not the standard. Instead, you follow US GAAP, or General Accepted Accounting Principles. US GAAP does have its own conceptual framework that the Financial Accounting Standards Board, or FASB, call concept statements. I don't have time today to go into the details between IFRS and US GAAP, but I'll provide some links in the description below of some comparisons prepared by some Big Four companies. I'll also include the links to the US concept statements published by the FASB. Now, from the information contained in the IFRS media release, links below, there is new information on the concepts of measurement, presentation and disclosure, and derecognition. There are also updates to definitions of assets and liabilities and recognition criteria for those same items. I would highly recommend watching the video introducing the changes to IFRS and then checking out the summary material in the link. We're all waiting to get our hands on the full statements soon. If you're a cricketing country, you'll have heard about the ball tampering engaged in by 3 Australian cricketers, Cameron Bancroft, Vice-Captain David Warner, and Captain Steve Smith. Not only did they attempt to cheat by rubbing sandpaper on the ball, their attempts were caught on camera and broadcast to the entire world. The punishment? All 3 have been thrown out of the Australian team. They've been sent home from South Africa, and sanctions have been applied by cricketing authorities. These include bans for at least 12 months and bans from leadership. Now, besides these, cricketers also earn big bucks playing in the Indian Premier League from endorsements and sponsorship deals. We know that Warner and Smith are being removed from the Weet-Bix cereal box marketing, and their big money IPL deals are in jeopardy. Now, cricket has always been considered the gentleman's game, a game where ethics ruled, and it said that if you knew you were out, you walked off the field, regardless of whether the umpire ruled you out or not. Honesty and integrity are key values, and the Australian team lauded themselves as being the most honourable of cricketing nations. Australia is actually called for harsher penalties on cheats from other countries. So when blatant cheating occurs by Australians, the entire cricketing world is ready to call them on their But what does this mean in the long run? The 3 cricketers will forever face a black mark and questions against their name. Are they cheating? This will affect their ability to earn a living. Now, Australian cricket is under scrutiny. Players, coaches, selectors, even how junior cricket is being administered. So now you might be thinking, what on earth does this have to do with auditors? Well, auditors are known for being honest, objective, and independent. We sell ourselves as being accounting and assurance experts. So if we as auditors engage in cheating and misconduct or negligence, then it severely damages our reputation. And the audit firm's reputation is one of their biggest assets. If the public loses trust in an audit firm or the audit process, then what will happen to the value of the audit opinion? As auditors, we must hold ourselves above, put the public interest first, to be independent, to be objective, and to apply our extensive skill and care, to apply professional skepticism. And if you follow me on social media, this is us applying professional skepticism. We cannot and should not entertain the idea of compromising our principles for short-term gain, because we risk losing everything if we do. All right, after that very serious discussion, let's move on to something a little bit different. This new research paper came through my inbox, and normally I don't talk about research on This Week in Audit, but the title of this one caught my eye. Does external auditing combat corruption? Evidence from private firms. Now, in Australia and much of the developed world, there are very clear rules on bribery and corruption. There is no IFRS or accounting standard on how to account for bribes. Clearly, they're an expense, but an illegal one in most countries. Something companies should not be doing and probably would not want to report on their income statements. But in some countries, bribes or graft is just how things get done. I've heard stories about bribery from major international countries in Southeast Asia, the Middle East, and Africa and South America. A Canadian auditing professor once told me a story about how he found an employee at a mining company earning loads more money than the CEO. Turns out that person was the one who paid the bribes. The company paid him an obscene salary, and he in turn paid bribes to government officials for permits, expediting paperwork, and other matters. Farouk and Shahada from the American University in Cairo find that, especially in countries where there are corrupt practices, having an audit limits the amount of bribery and corruption in the client. The key point I took away from this is that audits could be a powerful tool wielded by governments to help reduce corruption. That is, of course, assuming that corruption isn't within the government as well. So that's all we have time for this week. If you see any great audit news stories, tag me in them on social media or send them to me in my inbox. I have lots of great suggestions for videos from the comments from the last few weeks. I'll be getting to those in some vlogs. I actually did record some last week. I had terrible lighting. I tried editing them and they just looked like crap. So I'm going to start over again. So keep an eye out those. Make sure you subscribe to make sure you get the updates for those vlogs. Thanks for watching. Enjoy eating the rest of your Easter chocolate. I know I'll be eating some today, and I will see you next time. Bye.